So now we have 5 blinded controlled studies showing that leucovorin improves language and in general autism symptoms. So expressive language is the most, we measure that because we find it's the most obvious thing, but we do see improvements in behaviors, particularly receptive language and understanding also. So it's really a wide variety of symptoms that leucovorin seems to help and a wide variety of patients.
Wow. And does adding coenzyme Q10 and these other supplements have any utility on these patients that respond?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So this is where I say it's not always simple, right? That is that the folate autoantibody is 70% of the time it's the reason for folate not getting into the nervous system, but 40% is because of mitochondrial problems. 5% it's genetic issues. So the folate autoantibody is great because it's really the low hanging fruit, but there's other things that help. The process of getting folate into the brain is energy dependent. So if your mitochondria is not working, it's not going to work either. If you have inflammation, it's not going to work either. So you have many other things that you have to make sure that you look for to support the entry of folate into the brain. We also know that vitamin D, PQQ, carnitine are all important for helping the transport. And then we know that B12 is extremely important because folate doesn't work correctly unless you have very adequate levels of B12. And we know that some children can't absorb it and need to have B12 injections, which can be very effective, at least the little kids. So it is complex, and there are things that you need to add on to make sure that things are working optimally.
Well, and not from you're incredibly intelligent. If I need the little cookie cutter thing because I got volume to see and I don't have the expertise that you do, what would be the minimal things I could do to help these autistic children in a busy pediatric clinic?
Sure. So we've done a number of things to try and make this simple for people. One, the book, The Folate Fix, the beginning of it talks about all the disorders. We have a dozen stories from families, which are really great. You can see the journey of people. But the back part of it is actually more of a how-to, the details of how to diagnose and treat. But I know some people may not have the time to actually go through that. We made a new entity called the Metabolic Learning Resource, where the book is published from, where we're going to start having webinars and other tools where physicians can come and learn how to use leucovorin and treat children. So we're trying to do our best to really reach out and make it simple for pediatricians because again, I know you guys are extremely busy and it's very demanding. So you need something simple to help you along.
Yeah. So, Jim, if I could summarize what you have been teaching me now for 2 years, the microbiome is very important. Natural foods are probably the key to overall health, along with good sleep and some exercise. And so, when you look at one of these kids, you're basically doing what I was taught in a continuity clinic. Ask about their diet, ask about their sleep, ask about if they're pooping and wetting diapers, and you'll find the answers to most disease in childhood by asking those 4 questions. Do I have it somewhat right?
I would say, yeah, exactly. But it's all that kind of stuff, trying to get a good history. The problem why it's a little bit complicated is sometimes we're trying to fix things, you know what I mean? Because like if you start doing this, everyone will find you, right? And then it'll be like you're trying to fix 5 years worth of problems. And it becomes harder, even if I get someone to have a perfect diet, it's going to be hard to fix a lot of this stuff, especially since, like Dr. Fry alluded to, some of this kind of stuff, it's weird. It's a little bit transgenerational, right? So part of me thinks some of this is epigenetic where you're really trying to fix what grandpa did, right? And
That is the amazing thing is that the changes that happen in the egg that is the egg that the child came from, that egg develops in the grandmother. So there could be things that happen to the grandmother that are now being transmitted to the child.